starting off with this team that is going to be a real threat in the NFC. Their quarterback is playing better than anybody, and I think he is the MVP of the league so far. If the season ended today, he's the MVP, and that's Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford has been unbelievable. I mean, it's been unreal what he's done this year at the age that he is, and you know when you look at it, man, what he's done this year, getting Devontae Adams was going to be such a big help for Puka Nakua too and take some pressure off of him. But those guys are rejuvenated. Devontae and Stafford and with Sean McVay as your offensive play caller, there's no really deficiencies there, and they have a great defense. So we're gonna take a look here. Look at Stafford's numbers right here. Just look at these. Yesterday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they won 34-7. And his numbers right there, you just see QBR 80, 71% completion percentage, 273 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and their defense only gave up 7 points. So the game was over pretty much in the first half, as you can tell. Um, if you look at his season stats, he's completing 68% of his passes, almost 69% of his passes, 2,800 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and what sticks out the most is 2 interceptions. Stafford is bound to give up some interceptions. He just is, but he hasn't this year, and that's credit to him and being able to read defenses as better than anyone in the league. He's distributing the ball better than anyone in the league, and he has a passer rating of 113, a QBR of 88, and when you look at it, there isn't a quarterback playing better in the National Football League. And you can't really say anyone else. You know what I mean? And Drake May obviously had a case, but stats wise, there's nobody playing better. And the Rams are going to be a formidable team in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl since for the first time since 2021, and second time with Matt Stafford. They are now the number one seed in the NFC after yesterday. And but see, I don't think home field advantage is going to matter as much to the LA Rams than it is to anybody else. Reason being is because LA Rams Stadium gets taken over by whatever team they're playing against. Both LA teams, the Chargers and the Rams, there just aren't many fans of those teams. Anytime the Eagles go over there, it's a sea of green. When Kansas City played against the Chargers, it's all red. Like San Francisco, whenever they play in LA, it's all red. So it's like there isn't really a home field advantage for the Los Angeles Rams. But that also could be in their favor because that means they really just can play anywhere and it's going to be the same game. You know what I mean? They can go on the road because they pretty much play a road game every single week. And besides the travel part of it, so the Rams to me are the biggest threat to the Eagles to get back to the Super Bowl. And the reason I'm bringing up the Eagles is because they are the defending champs. And coming into the season, they were the favorites to go back to the Super Bowl in the NFC. And it's hard for me to believe that there's any other favorite in the NFC besides the Los Angeles Rams, considering how Matthew Stafford is playing, considering how good that defense is. Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, great offensive line. Kyren Williams is a good running back. So they can go. This is my thing. I don't think they can go anywhere and win because I don't know what it's going to be like if they have to go on the road and play Green Bay. No, they won't, go on the road. But I'm saying they have to come to Philly, and it's another snow game how it was last year. It's one of those really cold games. The Eagles' defense is very good. And truthfully, in the NFC, I think the only team that can really beat the Los Angeles Rams, and they've already beat them, is the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's going to come down to I think that's going to be the NFC Championship game at this point. By the end of by the NFC Championship game, it's going to be Rams Eagles. But obviously it's a one game playoff thing, and anything can happen. And the Rams could very well lose to a Detroit Lions team. They could very well lose to they could lose to the Eagles. They can lose to the Chicago Bears. They can lose to these teams. It's not like they can lose to a team that has as good as defense, if not better than their defense. They can lose to that. But with the way their offense has played, it's hard for me to see a team that is going to stop the LA Rams consistently over the course of 4 quarters. It's hard for me to believe that because the LA Rams can score at will. They can score in different ways. They can score running the football. They can score throwing the football. They can score, off of turnovers. Their defense is very opportunistic. They can score at a very high rate. And if your offense does not come to play against the LA Rams in that specific game, the Rams can run you out of the ballpark, truthfully. And once they build up a lead, they definitely have. It's going to come down to me. It's going to come down to Sean McVay. It's not really going to come down to Matthew Stafford. It's going to come down to Sean McVay. Does he want to get greedy and continue to pass the ball through the air when they get up? That's what happened against the Philadelphia Eagles. They were up 26-7 in the third quarter, middle of the third quarter. They were up 26-7. They didn't try to run the football consistently. They didn't try to run out the clock. They tried to throw and throw and throw, and it was incomplete pass. Matthew Stafford didn't have the best day throwing the football. So that can happen come playoff time if Sean McVay tries to get too greedy. And he tries to continue airing it out and show how many points they could put on the board. All it takes is one turnover and the game is turned, So I think the Rams right now are the best team in the NFC. But obviously over the course of the next 6 weeks, a lot can happen, and Matthew Stafford is very much on his way to his first MVP and, 30 touchdowns to 2 interceptions with still 6 games left. Definitely, or 5 games left. It's definitely six games. Sorry, 6 games left. It's definitely a chance for him to kind of run away with the MVP over the next 6 games. And looking at their opponents the rest of the season, I can tell you right now who I think can beat them in these next few games. They have the Panthers next week. Panthers have been playing well, they have the Panthers next week. They have the Cardinals. Detroit is going to be a tough one. Seattle, they just beat Seattle, but Seattle on the road is going to be tough. Falcons, not really, and then the Cardinals again. So they play the Cardinals twice. They play the Panthers, and then the 2 games back-to-back that we're going to see what this Rams team really is at home against Detroit and on the road against Seattle back-to-back weeks. So those are 2 games that can go pretty much anywhere, and I think those 2 games are going to be super important to decide the number 1 seed. Because the Eagles have a game against the Chicago Bears, who are tied for the number 2 seed right now. Eagles are in second place, but Chicago is right on their heels, having the same record, them just having a tiebreaker over Chicago. That'll, to me, determine who's going to be the top 2 seeds in the NFC. And when you look at it, the Rams, I don't think can drop one of those 2 games, because after this game against Chicago, the schedule kind of eases up a little bit. Outside of 1 game going on the road against the Buffalo Bills, there's not really many tough opponents for the Philadelphia Eagles. They got the Raiders. They got Washington twice still. So, I don't think it's going to be that much of a big deal. You know what I mean? For the Eagles to keep that number 2 seed, and we'll get to them a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, credit to the Rams for what they've done so far this season. They definitely look like a team that's going to be a problem come playoff time.